intent one is on what one is saying. The whole being hanging on its words, so that not only had not only had she to give up, admit hers alone, her voice alone, but this other awful thought.
How long after?
Sudden flash, even more awful if possible, that feeling coming back, starting at the top, then working its way down the whole machine, but no.
Spare that. The mouth alone, so far. So far than thinking. How long after?
Sudden flash, it can't go on. All this, all that, steady stream, straining to hear, one after another, then dismissed. What? The buzzing? Yes. All the time the buzzing, so-called. All that together. Never a whole body like gone. The mouth, lips, cheeks, jaws, never. What? The tongue? Yes. Lips, cheeks, jaws, tongue, never still a second. Mouth on fire, stream of words. In her ear, practically in her ear. Not catching the half, not the quarter, no idea what she's saying. Imagine, no idea what she's saying. She who but a moment before, but a moment, had no idea what she's saying, and now can't stop. Imagine.
Can't stop the stream. And all the time begging, something in her begging it all to stop. Pause a moment, if only for a moment. And no response. As if it hadn't heard. Or couldn't. Couldn't stop a second. Like maddened. And all those together, straining to hear, piece it together, and the brain raving away on its own, trying to make sense of it.
Or make it stop.
Or in the past, dragging up the past. Flashes from all over. Walks mostly. Walking all her days, day after day. A few steps, then stop. Stare into space. Then on, a few more, stop. Stare again, drifting around, day after day.
Or that time she cried. The only time she could remember since she was a baby. Must have cried as a baby. Perhaps not. It's not essential to life. Just the birth cry to get her going, breathing. And now nothing till this. Old hag already, just sitting, staring at her hand.
Where was it?
Rocker's Acres. One evening, on the way home, sitting, staring at her hand in her lap, palm upward. Suddenly felt it wet. Tears, presumably. Hers, presumably. No one for miles. Not a sound. Just the tears. Sitting, watching them dry. All over in a second.
Or grabbing at the straw. Brain flickering away on its own. Quick, grab and on. Nothing there.
On to the next. Bad as the voice, worse. As little sense can't. What? The buzzing? Yes, all the time the buzzing. Dull roar-like falls, and the beam flickering on and off, starting to move around. Like moonbeam, but not. All part of the same.
Keep an eye on that too, corner of the eye. Can't go on, all this. God is love. Shall be purged.
Back in the field. Morning sun. April. Sink face down in the grass. Nothing but the larks. So on, grabbing at the straw, straining to hear the odd word, make some sense of it, whole body like gone.
What?
The buzzing? Yes. All the time the buzzing, dull horror in the skull, and the beam, fretting around, painless, so far, then thinking, oh, long after, sun flash!
Can't go on, all this, all that, steady stream, straining to hear, one after another, make some sense of it, and her own thoughts, make some sense of them all. What?
The buzzing? Yes. All the time the buzzing, dull horror in the skull, and the beam, fretting around, painless, so far, then thinking, oh, long after, sudden flash! Perhaps something she had to tell.
Could that be it? Something she had to tell? Something she...
What?
Who? No! She. Something she had to... Tiny little thing out before its time, God-forsaken home, no love.
Spared that. Speechless, practically speechless all her days. How she survived.
That time in court. What had she to say for herself? Guilty or not? Stand up, woman! Speak up, woman! Stood there staring into space, mouth half open as usual, waiting to be led away, glad of the hand on her arm. Now this. Something
something she had to tell.
Could that be it? Something that would tell how it was.
How she
What?
had been.
Yes.
Something that would tell how it had been. How she had lived.
Lived on and on.
Guilty or not.
On and on.
To be 60, something she...
What?
70? Good God.
Lived on and on to be 70.
Something she didn't know herself. Wouldn't know if she heard.
Then forgiven.
God is love.
Tender mercies.
New every morning.
Back in the field, April morning, face down in the grass, nothing but the larks. Pick it up there.
Get on with it from there. Another few.
What?
Not that?
Nothing to do with that? Nothing she could tell?
All right. Nothing she could tell. Think of something else. Try something else. Long after.
Sudden flash! Not that either? All right, think of something else. Try something else. Hit on it in the end. Think on long enough.
What?
Nothing to do with that either? Nothing she could think? All right. Nothing she could tell. Nothing she could think. Nothing she...
What?
Who? No!
She. Tiny little thing, out before its time, God-forsaken home, no love, spared that. Speechless all her days, practically speechless. Even to herself, but not completely.
Sometimes sudden urges, once or twice a year, always winter, some strange reason. Rush out. Rush out, stop the first she saw.
Nearest laboratory. Start pouring it out. Steady stream.
Half mad stuff, half the bowels wrong, no one could follow, till she saw the stares she was getting, then die of shame and crawl back in, once or twice a year, always winter, some strange reason. Long
Words.
hours of darkness,
The words.
The brain.
flickering away, quicker and quicker.
The words.
The brain.
Flickering away on its own.
Quick, grab it on.
Nothing there.
On somewhere else. Try somewhere else.
All the time begging, something in her begging it all to stop. Unanswered. Prayers unanswered or unheard.
Too faint.
Keep on trying. Something she, what? The buzzing? Yes. All the time the buzzing. Dull roar in the skull and the beam, poking around painless. So far, till something she was.
What?
Who?
No!
She. What she was trying. What to try.
No matter. Keep on.
Hit on it in the end, then back.
God is love. Tender mercies. New every morning. Back in the field. April morning. Face down in the grass. Nothing but the larks. Pick it up.